Welcome to the new video. So I got this comment from Rudra Rathor that make a video on Docker architecture. So this is also one of the favorite questions of interviewers because when we study Docker, we focus on you know the commands, how to write the Docker file, but when we say that we know advanced Docker, we need to understand the Docker architecture properly, how the things are, not just the Docker CLI and all major things, but deep down how Docker networking works, what is Docker cache, how to optimize Docker file, and how to networking, like how overlays, how the Docker volumes and all of this is working, that we need to understand. And if we know all of these things, then we can say that we know advanced Docker just by knowing the commands, that we know what is the difference between CMD and entry point, and how to write a multi-stage Docker file, that we cannot count in and knowing a advanced Docker. So without further ado, let's start. So if we uh, go through this Docker, the architecture is very simple. First of all, the Docker CLI, or the server on which we run the Docker commands. Okay, so basically we will send request to Docker engine or Docker daemon through this server. So where our CLI commands will run, that server will be Docker CLI. So we'll run Docker build, Docker run, Docker ps command, and these all commands will go to Docker engine or Docker daemon. So this is important part of Docker, where we have the API server, the networking things, the volume, image build kit, plugins, and more. So all the requests, all the CLI requests will go to Docker engine. Docker engine will then, there is the container runtime, container D. So what is container runtime? Container runtime means that it will manage the life cycle of containers. So whenever the container is running, okay. So because Docker will create a container. So to manage the container life cycle, the image management, the snapshot, the content stored, there is a container runtime. For Docker also there is a container runtime, because we are running containers in Docker as well. For Kubernetes also there is a container runtime, because we are creating containers over there too. Okay, but to understand the container runtime of Kubernetes, we'll get this in next video. But today we'll understand about Docker. So container D is a container runtime of Docker, which will, so Docker is a full platform. It does more than just running containers. So it will do image management, container lifecycle, snapshot, or content store. Then what it will, on which it will create those container, it will give low level container execution using runc, and then it will assign name group, c groups, like the containers which are running to on those will, like on the Linux kernel, it will assign namespaces, c groups, and our containers will be running on that. So basically this is a architecture, and it's a very simple architecture. It's just that we don't understand what is container runtime properly, or Docker daemon, and how the how namespaces, c groups from the Linux kernel on which our containers will run, on there the namespace and c groups will be created. So that we don't understand sometimes. So purpose is that Docker with Containerd is a full container platform for building, running, and managing containers. And what are the components? Docker engine plus Containerd plus build kit, networking, volumes, plugins, and CLI. All these are the important components which help in getting a container running. Works with Docker CLI, image build, and all this. So where Docker Containerd is used, it is local development, build, run, test container, image building and pushing to registries, standalone container host as service, and Kubernetes via containerd runtime. So yes, somehow we can say that that it was used earlier, but now CRIO is one it's a lightweight runtime container which is used for Kubernetes now. Okay, not the container D. It's not used, but it's we can use, but CRIO is generally preferred. So you can, if we see on the upper level, we will see that kubelet, which will do the communication. It has CRIO in okay, which is handling the networking, storage, container lives, image management, and the same thing. So CRIO is purpose built for Kubernetes. It implements only what Kubernetes needs via CRIO. So containerd can support Kubernetes, but CRIO it doesn't, because it is only created for Kubernetes. So this is a very simple Docker architecture, but very important to understand and set the base for advanced concepts of Docker that we'll cover gradually. So for today's video, I hope it's helpful. Please let me know views in the comment section. Till then, take care. Bye.